The average person is said to spend 15 minutes in the bathroom. Why not take advantage of that time and learn something new? Presenting the 15-minute podcast on weird facts, crazy details, and funny particulars that you'll be able to enjoy while you're taking a on your free time. Welcome to This Shit with Sam Butler. Welcome to another episode of the Shit Podcast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Sam Butler, your host. I have a very special guest with us today, a good friend of mine here from Leyendas Legendarias, Joe Badia.
I'm here.
How's it going, bro?
Oh, always good. Always good.
Always good. Glad to have you back, man. It's always good.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, I have we're doing this is a 15-minute show as well. It's not like the one we just did that was the 9/11 episode.
That was special.
It was a special. But this one is 15 minutes, and it's also very time appropriate because when you guys are watching this today, as you're watching this, it's the 15th of September, right? Which is the day before Mexican Independence.
Viva la Independencia. Viva Mexico.
We're going to talk about Mexican independence. And one of the reasons we're going to talk about Mexican independence is because you guys keep thinking Cinco de Mayo is Mexican independence.
Yeah, nobody cares about Cinco de Mayo in Mexico.
Nobody cares. And the thing is, in the U.S., it's such a big deal.
Yeah.
The Cinco de Mayo.
We have no idea why.
Yeah. Everybody thinks it's like, a lot of people think it's independence.
And it's not. Cinco de Mayo, it's like, I think a fish ate a donkey. And then the French came in and then they made some pies and the Mexicans ate. It's something like Mexico has no idea what happened Cinco de Mayo.
Well, it was a battle that y'all won. And it was a big deal because it was the French. You guys beat the French.
Oh, that's so fucking hard to do.
It was hard to do back then.
Well, too.
Yeah. And you guys won. So it was a big deal. And Cinco de Mayo became a celebration, but the way that it took off in the United States was amazing because
it rolls off the tongue easier. Cinco de Mayo, then
it's like
16 de septiembre. Or 15 de septiembre.
It's like the Mexican version of St. Patty's Day.
I was gonna say that it's exactly the same thing.
Hey, we're gonna get drunk. We're gonna have a good time. What's St. Patty's Day about? That's not about snakes. They drove them all out, and
we don't care.
We just want to get drunk.
Drink.
But in Mexico, it's not even a big deal. Like I've been here on the Cinco de Mayo, and nothing's happening.
Oh no, at all.
It's like another Tuesday.
You don't even get a school day off.
Well, it's like in the U.S., it's really big to have Taco Tuesday everywhere, right?
We have Taco Tuesday. Week.
I know. I just go, that's just a regular day in Mexico. It's Taco Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but it's just tacos,
Yeah, here it's tacos every day.
Yeah. Mexicans don't call it Mexican food either. It's not like I'm going to go get Mexican food. Food. Yeah, but we're going to talk about the independence of Mexico. There's some interesting facts about the independence of Mexico. For example, it took 300 years.
300?
300 years. 300 years was when Spain took control of Mexico, enslaved everyone here, and worked them in the mines and the fields. 300 years.
Shit.
Yeah, 1500s to the 1800s. Spain they refused to call it Mexico. They called it New Spain.
Yeah, the New Spain. La Nueva España.
Yeah, New Spain.
La Nueva España. Coño.
Yep. And so 16th of September, let me see.
Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla.
Yeah. Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla. He's got like Don Miguel Gregorio Antonio Ignacio Hidalgo Costilla Galaga Mandarte Villaseñor.
They had fucking ridiculous but amazing names back in the day.
Yeah, it was like a family line, like...
yeah, it's like
1,200 ancestors behind me.
I am Jose Antonio y Badia from Pradera Dorada, son of Antonio Badia de Pazos o San Martín Portillo, Esquire. Yeah. .com 2.0.
You killed my father.
/
Prepare to die.
Fuck.
Yeah, that was a good movie, man.
Love Princess Bride.
Yeah, Princess Bride, you know. But Father, they knew him as Father Hidalgo because he was a priest.
Yeah.
And he was the guy who actually did the Grito de Dolores.
Right.
Right. Which in English, I saw some translations that said the cry
Of pain.
of Dolores. That's how they translated it. But it's actually of sorrow.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the cry of sorrow. And so what he pretty much did is he got out, rang some bells at the church, got on some steps, and he cried out for the injustices that were happening. And this happened on the 16th of September.
Right.
Right? It was supposed to happen October 2nd.
What?
Yeah. They had it planned. It was like, we're going to do this October 2nd. Cool? Cool. You're good with
right
it?
before Halloween, because we can get the party on and everything, or we have my costume.
Yeah.
I'm going to go as La Llorona.
Yeah, what happened was the Spanish government was finding out about all these little conspiracies that were going on. And they were finding out who's doing it, and they were killing them off.
So they had to fucking...
So he's like, all right, forget it. We're doing it now.
Fuck it.
Yeah. So that'd be weird, right? The 2nd of October?
Yeah.
Right?
It's close to Halloween.
It doesn't roll off the tongue the same, you know?
El 2 de octubre. No, it does not.
So this happened in 1810.
And I know that like Josefa Ortiz de Dominguez, she warned everybody that this shit was going on. I remember that.
Yeah.
That they were onto them and that shit was going on. She saved them from
I'm glad you brought it up. It's a little bit further down in my research, but let me see. It's the women in the Mexican War of Independence.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Get to that because they were badass.
Leona Vicario was a key figure in the Mexican War of Independence. She dedicated herself to informing the insurgents about movements in Mexico City. Josefa Ortiz de Dominguez made her name in history for bravery. She risked her life in the War of Independence. She's known for her role in alerting the rebels, insurgents that Querétaro conspiracy had been discovered by the Spanish.
¡Ahí vienen, cabrones! ¡Córrele, córrele!
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think about even in World War II, the French resistance.
Yeah.
And the way those guys had to be secretive.
Yeah, it was like fucking guerrilla stuff.
Yeah, and then the Gestapo was also like, we're gonna figure this out. So this happened in the 1800s with Mexico.
Oh, God.
So there was key women. A woman named La Costeña provided food for the warriors. I think that was a nickname, La Costeña.
Probably.
It means
from the coast.
Right? But it's weird that it said La Costeña. Well, I guess she's known. I mean, is she a legit woman? I don't know, you know?
She probably brought them cans full of pickled jalapenos and chipotle peppers.
But see, I never knew that because that's a big brand.
I did not know that either.
La Costeña, and it refers back to this woman that would bring food to
and I had no idea. And I was born because in Mexico they indoctrinate you from the first day in school. They'll teach you about everything about the revolution and independence. And I've never heard of La Costeña.
She brought food to the warriors, and it says here, Cahualta sight, while risking her own life. So she was smuggling food to the insurgents,
like a mother would. Mm-hmm. She smuggled me food.
I always assumed that
I forgot my lunch.
I always
high school.
Yeah, your mom was La Costeña. I always figured that it was some cultural thing to a sexy Latin woman or something, but no.
Probably. Mijo.
Yeah.
Tu lonche.
Yeah, tu lonche. Here you go.
Se te olvidó el lunch.
It's a 2-day celebration.
2-day.
2-day. The official Independence Day is a 2-day celebration. I know. I read it and I went, what? That's interesting, right? Mexicans celebrate the anniversary of their independence each year, not just on September 15th. They celebrate on the 16th too. So on the 15th, it's celebrated for the reenactment of the Grito de Dolores.
All right.
Right? The Cry of Dolores. And on September 16th, it's a nationwide celebration.
Oh.
So it officially lands on 2 days.
But here's a fun fact and a sad one. We celebrate our independence the day we said We're gonna fight for independence. Not the day that we got independent.
Well, it just depends on how you want to look at it. I mean, the 4th of July is the same thing in the United States.
Isn't that the day where you signed?
You signed the declaration.
Oh, we didn't sign.
We didn't win.
But you signed the declaration.
Yeah, we declared it, and that's what Manuel Hidalgo did. He declared independence.
He screamed for independence.
He screamed for independence, and so I see that as legit. Because at that point in his mind, he's saying, we're no longer under your authority. We're independent.
We're doing this.
And it took like 30 years. No, I mean, it didn't take 30 years. Let me see. It is okay. The Act of Independence was signed on September 28th, 1821. It took 11 years.
11 years.
11 years. It was established that Mexico would be recognized as an empire.
Oh, that's a better name. It's not cool being an empire, but it's a better name. The Empire.
Okay, so you had an emperor for 2 years.
Yes, we did.
Iturbide.
Yes.
That's a better pronunciation. Iturbide. And he lost it. And
of course he did.
Then it was finally recognized as a republic.
Because this is funny because the whole independence movement was like, let's fucking do this. Fuck yeah. And then we got it and they're like, oh shit, now what? Anybody make a plan? Like, where are we going? Are we going to be conservative? Do we have a Congress? Are we going to have a parliament? Nobody thought of that.
Yeah. So it became an empire.
Yeah.
And you had an emperor. And then I've been to Mexico City a bunch of times and you have a castle.
Yes.
I believe that was his castle.
Probably.
Right? And in that castle, they had all the if you ever go to Mexico City, there's a main avenue called Reforma.
Yeah.
Right? And you go down Reforma and you can actually see the castle in the background. Mm-hmm. And that was, from what I understand from my tour guide in Mexico, he was telling me that that used to be called El Paseo de la Emperadora.
Ah, I did not know that.
Yeah, that was his wife's. That was all built for her to cruise up and down.
Makes sense.
Right? And then later they're like, it's going to be called La Reforma.
And now everybody's going to
reform. We're going to reform
your walk, your daily walk.
Yeah. But Spain did not recognize the Mexican independence for 15 years.
Of course they do.
It finally accepted its defeat when in 1836.
36.
Okay, so that's 26 years later. Queen Maria Cristina renounced her property in Spain and tried to recover territory in Mexico, but was unsuccessful.
Okay, fuck this.
So I'm not the queen anymore in Spain, so I'm going to go get Mexico back. And then they lost.
And they go like, okay, fuck it, you're finally independent.
Mm-hmm. So this was pretty cool that I found about the Mexican independence. Long before 1810, Mexicans had begun to kind of chafe under the Spanish rule. Spain kept a stranglehold on their colonies, only permitting them limited trade opportunities and generally appointing Spaniards as opposed to natives.
Yeah.
Right? Or Creoles. The article said Creoles, which I was like, Creoles? I thought that was...
No, Creoles is Spanish, Mexican... Well, it's a big problem because Mexicans, we have our natives. So Creoles is Spanish mixed with any native from Mexico.
Creoles eran los españoles nacidos en México.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the translation was criollo.
Criollo. Sí. Yeah, he's criollo. Right. Criollo is Spanish born in Mexico.
Yeah. So they didn't appoint any of those guys. You had to be like from Spain to be appointed. So there started to be kind of a resentment, right? To the north, the United States had won its independence decades before, and many Mexicans felt they could too. In 1808, Creole patriots saw their chance when Napoleon invaded Spain and imprisoned Ferdinand VII.
Who was a French dude.
So Napoleon imprisoned the Spanish king at the time, Ferdinand VII.
Yes.
When that happened, this allowed Mexicans to go, oh, well, we're going to set up our own government, but we're still loyal to the king. But, he's in prison right now. So
when he gets out, call me.
Call me. that kind of
Right,
thing,
yeah.
right? So that started before 1810. 1810 was the actual
Like the starting point
of the independence.
Yeah.
Right.
The spark.
The spark, yeah. And of course, Hidalgo, Father Hidalgo, Manuel Hidalgo was caught a year later and sentenced to death and put to death.
Yes, he was.
So he was a
He had a bunch of lovers and like 5 kids.
yeah.
That's good for a priest.
That's good. Well, I think it was still allowed back then, wasn't it?
No, it
Well,
wasn't.
not 5, but at least 1. No?
And
Was celibacy a thing?
No lovers. Yeah, no, it was not allowed. He was
not
a cool
allowed.
guy. Yeah.
So we have the woman. It's a 2-day celebration. The flag. Do you understand what the flag colors mean? I mean, that's something that...
Yeah, I know the red is for the blood that was shed during the independence and the revolution. And the green is for Ireland that gave us beer. The white is because they had a lot of white stuff going on. And that's all I know.
Yeah, what this article was saying that I found online. I'm trying to find I lost my space here.
I'm kidding. I know the white is for the ghosts that roam this place because we murdered a lot of people.
It was saying it was like a mix. The white actually stood for religion.
What?
Yeah.
They didn't teach us that.
That's what it says in this article. I mean, this is stuff I found online, so a lot of this could be BS. I don't know.
No, I mean, every history of every country is a lot of bullshit, right? Because the victors, they write history, and in Mexico, there is a lot of like you're a fan of. They try to make you a fan of the like Washington, George Washington. Over here, it's like I don't know Vicente Guerrero. He's like this saint that you need to, bless and love, and the flag is this almost religious symbol and everything. So they do teach us like red is the blood of the fallen, and the white is for peace, and the green is for Forest of Chapultepec. They change it, but they do teach us all this stuff. So don't worry if you got it wrong.
Wrong. Yeah. It said here, this article that I found online said that the green celebrates Mexican independence. The white celebrates religion. And the red is a union of religion and independence.
That's horrible if that's true.
I don't know. That's kind of hard to believe because how would red and green...
Yeah, because it makes no sense. Because
it makes no sense, right?
Color.
I always think of red signifying bloodshed for some reason.
And what I remember from like primary school and everything, is red was the bloodshed of the heroes of independence.
Yeah. Well, we are celebrating the independence of Mexico, and that's something that we're going to wrap it up. Do you know? Well, a lot of Americans and people from my part of the world don't understand. Don't know who the first president of Mexico was. Do you know who the first president of Mexico was?
Vicente Guerrero.
Was he? It says
Agustín Iturbide.
Guadalupe Victoria.
I just read about it. Yeah.
See, because for us, the first president of the United States is a big deal. George Washington.
Did you know Guadalupe Victoria is the only president in Mexico for like 30 years that served his whole term?
Wow.
Yeah.
He was legit.
He was legit.
I thought maybe they named the beer after him, but no, they didn't.
No, they did not.
I was researching that
and his real name, I don't remember it now, but it's like 7 names. And none of them is Guadalupe or Victoria because he was an orphan and he was adopted later. Great guy. He served his 4 years. That's the only president that served 4 years for like 30 years after the independence because everybody got either killed or renounced or just
removed,
stepped in for 45 minutes while the other guy came in. Because I told you, we didn't have a plan. It's like the dog that chases the car and then he gets to it. So Mexico, we suffered that in independence and the revolution. We're like, yeah, we're fucking fed up with this. Let's do this. We got it. Oh shit, we forgot to make a plan when we won. We were not expecting to win. So what's next?
Yeah. Now, France and the U.S. both supported the independence of Mexico.
Of course they did.
France supported it because they had selfish reasons. They wanted to invade.
Because French and Spain fucking
Yeah, they were
hated
like,
each
"All
other.
right,"
Like,
you know.
yeah, go at it.
And the U.S. supported oppositions against the Spanish regime. So the U.S. was like, we want the Spanish gone too.
Everybody wanted the fucking Spanish gone.
So we're very happy that Mexico is independent. It's a great country in many respects. It's got its problems, but it really is a great country.
What country doesn't?
Yeah. So I appreciate being Mexican. I appreciate Mexico's loved around the world, dude. Like anywhere you go.
You know what? It's because no matter what the bullshit that goes around it, it's people. We have
people.
Great, fucking lovable, hospitable people.
Hospitality.
Yeah.
I mean, you go anywhere and it's just hospitable. They treat you well. I mean, a lot of us that like to travel into Mexico. I mean, I have a great time. Like I take my kid. I was able to take my kids to Europe last year, and we had been wanting to go for years. But then they come back to Mexico and they go, "Well, Mexico is pretty cool."
Yeah, you have a fucking
right.
great
Like,
time.
and we always have this thing about how Europe is better than this side of the world, and we go, Europe's better. Yeah, it's great. I'm not knocking Europe.
No,
Right?
I
It's
love
great.
it too.
But
But
there's a reason y'all left and came here. So
I mean, it's not the same to go, oh, it's a beautiful cathedral, but it was built in the 14th century with the Medici.
Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. I saw that. You come to Mexico and Mexicans come up to you and,
Yeah.
hey, why aren't you drinking?
Yeah.
Toma una cerveza, cabrón. Vente, puto.
Yeah.
Woo, let's fucking drink.
That's love.
And then you're partying and you have a hangover and then they'll come over with a clamato and fix
Food,
it.
everything's
And
good.
you get great
And
food. And
service.
that's the difference.
I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for joining us. That's the end of our podcast. Where can people find you on social media?
You can find me with Leyendas Legendarias. That's our podcast. Or you can find me personally as El Badiablo with a capital B.
B-A-D.
No, not a capital B.
B.A. Diablo.
Yeah. B-A Diablo.
Yeah, and I'm Tu Amigo Sam. And of course, the podcast is Está Cagados Podcast, and it's on my channel on YouTube, Tu Amigo Sam. We're also on all platforms that are for podcasts. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so. Thank you guys for joining us. And that's been this episode of The Shit Podcast. Thank you. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you so much. Viva Mexico.
Viva Mexico.